Greetings and salutations, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls and children of all ages, friends and family. From the Big Beefy E Studios here in New Bedford, Massachusetts, it is time for yet once again another episode of Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. And here is the elder statesman of the Rant and Rave podcast and the proprietor of all things shenanigans, Eric M. Lima. Thank you very much, Mr. Announcer, sir. Well, hello there, everyone. Welcome to yet another episode of Eric Lima Shenanigans in 1977, episode number 2259 of the show. How's it going, everybody? Well, I decided to do, this is going to be a regular episode, no segments or anything like that, just more like just random talk, random things that go on, random thoughts that are going in my head right now, random thoughts of May 2025. We are halfway through May. We're just in the third. We have one more full week of May left. The Memorial Day weekend up, May the 21st, 7:06 p.m. I know it's supposed to be some rotten weather heading our way tomorrow, but a little raw too. It's going to be on the cooler side. It's like a lot of people are complaining about that, but it's New England weather. But the good news is it isn't going to snow because it has been. The weather has been, the atmosphere has been a little warm and too warm enough to support any snow. And if it did snow, I'm not worried about it because the fact of the matter is I don't have to worry about shoveling it anymore. You know what I mean? So, we got that going. And speaking of my job, I usually don't talk about my job unless something funny happens or anything like that. But I usually share the funny stuff with my parents and my family and all. But this story is too hilarious to even keep a secret, keep from YouTube, because the fact of it is a lot of people. I've made a made a Facebook post. I'm gonna oh crap. Let's see. Hold on just a second here, and hold on just okay. You don't have to worry about laughing. So I posted this while I was waiting for my stuffed crust linguiça pizza at Domino's. It was yummy, by the way, for lunch. And I was feeling, 7 hours ago, people can be very crabby in the mall. Let's just say, for all intents and purposes, that being a very crabby person in the mall can be potentially get you kicked out if you decide to ramp up the crabbiness. What a bizarre day today, LOL. So I want, and I'm sure, and it's it just okay, hold on just a second here. Okay. All right, I want to explain to you why I meant by that status on Facebook. I do apologize for that. I just saw, the tribute to George Wendt, who played Norm Peterson on Cheers. He passed away at the age of 76 a couple of days ago. Condolences and prayers to the Cheers cast. I know they also lost Kirstie Alley. And to the family and friends of George Wendt. So, this morning, now I work at the North Dartmouth Mall this morning, okay? And, as you know, a lot of things have changed at that mall. And my new job at the mall is working basically inside now. I'm no longer working outside. I don't have to worry about picking up leaves, shoveling snow, or picking up trash. The outside stuff. The only outside stuff I worry about now is the squeegee in the outside entrance doors, which is no big deal. No big deal at all. None whatsoever. So. So we have 4 different entrances that I do. There's entry number 1 that we refer to. It's also is the theater entrance. We refer to that as entry number 1. On the other side of the mall, there's entrance number 2 that is the Old Navy entrance. An entrance that says Old Navy on it. If you go to the Dartmouth Mall, you see Old Navy. That's it. Entry number 3. If you go on the other side of the mall, there's the Burlington entrance. It has the Burlington sign on it. On that entrance. The Dartmouth Mall has Burlington on it. And the 4th entry has the JCPenney entrance, and that's the other side of the mall as well. So, I don't know why they could have called that entry number 3, and then entry number 4 was over Burlington. It is what it is. So it's all in the U shape. So I did the first 2 entrances, squeegee in the doors. And I decided, I'm going to mosey on down to entry number 4, the JCPenney entrance. As I was going down there, I was going by track 23, which now is back after Forever 21 closed down. And there was some old guy that looks kind of homeless, wearing a denim jacket, t-shirt, and had jeans, and he was fully dressed, of course, but he was like in his 60s and 70s, I do believe. And his 60s and in the 60s and the 70s. And he had long hair up to here. He had a Celtics hat on. He had a mustache, bushy mustache, right? I walked by him. He's like, "Hey, time's the mall open?" I said, 11 o'clock. I thought it was 10. We have a schedule outside, sir. So I looked at it. He says, I was like, that might come back to haunt me if I ever got back there. It's a good thing I go back up at the other side of the mall and not have to confront him again. So I had a feeling in the back of my brain that something big is going to go down with that guy, right? So I decided, well, I'll mosey on, and when I went to see the 4th entry, the JCPenney entrance, a couple of maintenance guys are power washing it. I said, power washing the floor of it. I said, you know what? I'm not going to bother. I'm going to move on to the Burlington entrance. And I did that, squeegeed it all down. Decided to go back inside. I figured, well, I have some time to kill now that I don't have to worry about doing the JCPenney entrance. And I turned the corner, and just as I walked by Francesca's in that area, walked by track 23, one of our security guards, God bless her, because she probably has the toughest job in the world, and probably deals with this on a daily basis. She basically told him, "You got to get out of the mall. Let's go. You're out of here." And I thought, he must have done something that ticked somebody off, and they went to go tell security, or that he is, or this happened around almost like 10:30-ish type in the morning. This is this morning, by the way. And usually we let the doors open earlier to let mall walkers walk in the mall, and mall workers coming in. Sometimes some of the mall stores will open up earlier than 11. Like Old Navy has, usually opens up their doors. Usually Victoria's Secret, Macy's. The earliest store to open up was Burlington, Macy's, Panera Bread. Those are the stores that usually open up early. JCPenney usually opens up their stores early too. So anyways, as our security guy was telling them, you gotta leave the mall, he must have broken a rule, a code of conduct, or must have said something, or must have done something that offended somebody and basically told security. Or he wasn't supposed to be in the mall, or he was banned from the mall for some weird reason or another. I don't know. I don't know what was the cause of this, but to say the least, he's broken a rule. He's done something. So he's mounting off at her. He's getting up. So I'm kind of like, I slowly had to walk. I was on the other side of the mall, but I'm a witness to this because it was like right across from me. Just in case he does something, I would have to, I'm sure she'll report it in, but still, if they need any witnesses, I'm there. So, this is how we responded. He gets up out of the bench, okay? Now he had a cart, Pretend that this is his cart. And this is what he was doing all the way up to the mall. Doing that in an angry fashion. All the way up to the mall. And I'm thinking to myself, this guy's got an attitude problem. He is definitely on something. I got a feeling this guy's on something. And I don't know what, but he is not in his mental right state of mind. So, It's unbelievable, right? So I'm kind of like stunned at this. I'm like, geez, we heard some. I see some things happen, and then I hear some things because we get the radio and everything else in between. I mean, we had some strange things. We had some strange things happen at the mall, but mostly it's like early in the morning. It's like mostly it should be like during when the mall is busy. So this happens early in the morning. It's like, is it early in the morning to act a fool in the mall? You know what I mean? I'm like, these people. This guy must be crazy. I was like, it's like 10:30 in the morning. People are getting up, trying to get to work, trying to get their day going, and here is some crazy old man acting crazy, flinging his cart up the mall, and he kept this up for a long time. He's like murmuring, mouthing off at customers and mall walkers. I'm like, he was not in a good mood. He was not happy. I don't know what made him be in a bad mood, but I don't even want to know, right? So he's going up, right? Pushing the cart 10 feet away from him. I thought he was going to take it. And then we got to past H&M. I'm getting across. I'm across, and I'm getting past Old Navy. A couple more times, and we're going near Sunglass Hut. Was right there, and he's pushing it one last time. And our security guard, because again, God bless her, I applaud our mall security guards. They sometimes have the toughest job ever, and they're not appreciated enough. So, our security guard tells him, stop that. Stop pushing your cart like that, or you're going to break something. Then comes the funniest response from this guy ever. It's like, because it's crazy, but the way he looks and the way he acts, I don't think he even drives a car, for goodness sakes. He goes, I'm not going to break anything. I'm the best driver in the world. I was like, that laugh was like, my laugh was like, right. The way you look, buddy, and the way you act, I don't think he even ever had a car. And if he did drive, he probably had his license suspended, for goodness sakes. This guy was not in his right mind. I don't know what the heck this guy's issue is. And then they had to go up the mall because, unfortunately, they were power washing over at the J.C. Penney entrance. And I'm sure if he tried to go that way, he'd probably cop an attitude. With our maintenance guys. I was like, what in the heck? I was kind of shocked. And I was like, what in the heck? and the comment he made at the end was pretty funny. If I run into our security guard tomorrow morning, I'll ask her what caused this guy to get kicked out of mall. I want to know. I want to say, curiosity is going to kill the cat, which is me. I'm going to ask her, what did he do to get himself kicked out of the mall? I got to hear this story. Because the way I looked at him and the way he looked, he was not in his right frame of mind. The way he talked, the way he asked me that question, he was like not in a very good mood. I can tell. So it was a wacky story. It was just one of the wacky stories at the mall. I mean, all my 15 years working there, we had some crazy things happen, and I heard some crazy things happen. I think was it one guy or one person exposing himself, I think. And I heard it over the radio on the walkie-talkies. We had to have walkie-talkies so we could communicate. And I'm like, oh. And I'm like, it just like happened early in the morning. People trying to work it. And I think it was during around the holiday season. I don't know, a few years ago. Last year we had a guy try to break in the perfume kiosk. And he almost walked away with about $12,000 worth of perfume and cologne. And I'm like, the guy's on crack. And now this little incident, I'm like, But I did see a lot of things. I did see when we had. This would be back in the day when I was working at Ruby Tuesday. Now I couldn't change the Ruby Tuesday bathroom. When I got out of work, I decided, well, I'll change in the men's room. We used to have a bathroom where the theater is now. There was a men's bathroom where the security office is now. So I go in there, I quickly get changed, and as I decided to dart out, there was one guy running, and basically our security guy's running behind him. And I'm going, he stole something. This was like back in the day. So I've seen a lot of crazy things happen at our mall, And it comes with the territory, You would think that working in the morning, you won't experience any crazy things happening. I was wrong. You know what I mean? I figured working in the morning is safe. Like if you work at night, there'd be a bunch of Looney Tunes out there. I was wrong. We had people trying to yank on the doors, trying to get in. Nope. Well, I'm not letting you in, Can't do that. I don't have that authority, So I try to follow protocol, and people trying to be menacing, like, dude, I can't, Anyways. Yeah, so that was my story, man. That was my story. I figured, you guys, crazy things have happened, man. Been working at that mall for almost 30 years. In fact, this next month, the end of next month, will be 30 years. 15 of them over at the now defunct Ruby Tuesday restaurant in North Dartmouth. I'll be talking about that restaurant itself on an episode of Nostalgic Shenanigans. So be well in. That's next month, by the way. So be on alert for that. Let's see what else. Yeah. So, yeah, maybe a lot of things have changed working the past 15 years. I mean, I thought ever since getting this new job 15 years ago, in this month, beginning of this month, 15 years ago, I was kind of scared. Be scared of leaving a place that you've been familiar with for 15 years and you're starting a new job. And it's always scary to start at a new job. Because you get to meet new people, you get to learn the ropes of the job. It's never easy, It never was easy, and I don't think it will be easy at all. Trust me. But once you get the hang of it, and once you get a routine down, you come into work, you know what to do, bing, bang, boom, boom. Sometimes they change up the routine on you. Gets aggravating at first, when you're used to that routine, And you're trying to make sure that everything is on the up and up, So, yeah. So I'll be talking about Ruby Tuesday on a future episode of Nostalgic Shenanigans. So I'm going to get that up and running, and I'll be very, very happy about. There's a lot of great memories to come out of that. I'll probably give out shout-outs and whatnot. I think, it needs to be said, So, that is my funny story. Funny story at the like I said, I never usually talk about my job, but if there's a funny story to be told, gotta tell it, I ain't gonna break anything. I'm the best driver in the world. You know how many times people have asked me what time the mall opens? And what amazes me is the schedule is right at the door. It's like when they walk and open the door, they should have looked at the schedule. Oh, wait. But no, they don't look at the schedule. They go and ask me. I've known this mall for years, since I was a kid growing up. I started going to the mall back in the 80s, for goodness sakes. When we had Zayre, we had Sears, we had Child World. Back in the early 80s, I was going there. We had Friendlies, Chess King, okay? Record Town. Weather Vane, Woolworths, for goodness sakes. And we had, Cinema 8. We only had 8. Or no, Cinema 6. We had 6 theaters. I watched the first movie I watched at the mall was 101 Dalmatians. All right, 101 Dalmatians. And I saw Karate Kid 2 at the theater as well with some of my church friends. I mean, seriously. And amazing. I know this mall like almost like the back of my stinking hand. I got mall directories, okay, from the 90s. I got 2 mall directories I bought on eBay from the 70s. I'm hoping to find some from the 80s, trust me. That's next on my list. And for people to come up to me and ask me what time the mall opens, things have changed, people. Look at the schedule. If you have a problem with any of the stores, that could be because some stores will open up at 10, like JCPenney. Old Navy sometimes will open up at 10. Macy's. Burlington opens up a little earlier than that. You know, sometimes Victoria's Secret will open up earlier. Panera will open up earlier at 7 o'clock. It just amazes me. It just amazes me that people still ask me, even though you walk inside the mall, they don't see the schedule, the mall schedule right in front of their face, on the doors, on the entrances. Yeah. It cracks me up. It just cracks me up, man. And did you check the schedule at the door? Because that's what it tells you. I felt like Gary sometimes. I feel like my inner Gary of Bofus would come out and go, "Why ain't we telling you what time we're closed?" Some dude's trying to, we're closed, buddy. We're not letting you in. So 22 skidoo. Oh man, wacky things, man, wacky things. So that's all the time that we have on this show. Like I said, AEW Dynamite will be on in 30 minutes. The lovely Mina Shirakawa is returning to action once again. She goes up against Julia Hart with the lovely AEW Women's World Champion Timeless Tony Storm on commentary. Which I'm always looking forward to see what the lovely Australian Aussie Angel has to say. Hopefully we see Harley Cameron again. I don't know. You know, Harley Cameron's buddying up with Anna Jay, which so I don't mind that either. So that's all the time we have on this episode, and also WWE Evolve also today. 1 week away from Evolve, we'll have a fatal 4-way for the WWE Women's Evolve Women's Championship, and then 2 weeks from today, we'll have the Men's Evolve Championship. So that's it. That's all there is to it. I will see you guys later. You guys have a wonderful day. And until the next episode comes rolling around, Mr. Announcer, take us home. That is all for today's episode of the show. This is Mr. Announcer speaking for Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. A Big Beefy E and do it for Bob Saget production. And in association with a Raving Bull for 3000 Telepictures and Distribution. Thank you for watching another episode of Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. See you later on the next episode of the show. Goodbye for now.